Sticker shock, the full cost of college, more specifically, how you can actually avoid paying the full cost. That's what we're going to be talking about today on the College Investor Audio Show. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. As we talk about the topic today, you can always dive really deep into everything, all the resources and all the links that we have for you at thecollegeinvestor.com. Just search for the title of this podcast right in the search bar and you'll find the article. You can also check us out on social media. Search for The College Investor. We're pretty much anywhere you are. You can ask us questions, get to know us. We'd love to help you along any way we can. All right, let's dive in. Here's how students can avoid the full cost of college. For a whole lot of parents, scrolling on Facebook, the same comment keeps appearing under college-related posts. I don't know how we're supposed to pay $30,000 a year for college. I know. I get it. The fear is understandable. Sticker shock, I should say, at four-year schools have climbed for decades, and tuition figures are often presented as unavoidable facts. But the assumption behind those comments, that most families really have to pay $30,000 a year out of pocket, are usually wrong. In reality, the typical college student pays far less than the published price, and many pay very little or a lot of people pay nothing at all. There's a mix of public policy, institutional aid, employer programs, and academic shortcuts, which quietly lower the bill for millions of families each year. And even when it comes to actually writing a check, families pay for college using a whole lot of different strategies. Sticker price versus reality. So that $30,000 figure parents cite usually reflects tuition, fees, housing, meals at a public four-year university, or only tuition at a private one. But national data consistently shows that the net price, that's the most important figure, that's what families actually pay after grants and scholarships, is far lower for most students. There's really only a handful of colleges in America where the tuition exceeds $30,000. That price often reflects including housing and meals, which usually makes up over 2/3 of the total cost of attendance. Nuts. So that's because grants, institutional aid, and other programs are actually built into the system already. They don't always make headlines, and they're often poorly explained. Why? Because fear makes money. And they are the reason the majority of students do not write checks anywhere near the sticker price, which is really good news. So understanding the major cost reduction paths is going to help you replace the panic with planning. Don't panic, plan. Low-cost and free college paths, a whole lot of families overlook. There are a ton of low-cost and free colleges. Families just need to look for them and understand if they qualify. Colleges that eliminate tuition entirely. There are a growing number of colleges, believe it or not, who operate on a no loans or free tuition model for qualifying students. The College of the Ozarks is one prime example. No tuition. Students go to class and then go to work and then have free time. That's it. It's amazing. And there are more and more colleges actually doing this model. Eligibility is often tied to family income, and in a bunch of cases, includes middle-income households that assume they earn too much to qualify. At these institutions, tuition and sometimes room and board can be fully covered, such as the case with the College of the Ozarks. These colleges tend to be selective, though, but they're not rare, and they exist in both the public and private sectors. You just have to do your research. Full financial aid packages at public universities. Let's take a look at this. Even when tuition isn't technically free, many universities offer financial aid packages that bring the net cost close to zero for low-income students. Only about 1% of students get a full ride. Another 3% get 90% covered, and 7% get 75% of costs covered. There are federal grants, state grants, and university aid, often stacked together. Families see the headline tuition number because it gets clicks and assume it applies to everybody across the board, when in practice, it actually is just a very few amount of people who pay that. For families who do qualify, this can mean paying for books and transportation, not tuition. Community college as a free springboard. Check this out. And this is something that gets overlooked all the time. Community college remains one of the most powerful and most misunderstood cost control tools in higher education. So tuition at these colleges is a fraction of four-year prices. 33 states now offer free community college programs, free for recent high school graduates or adult learners. So when you combine that with transfer agreements, students can complete 2 years at low or no cost and then finish up at a four-year school. That strategy alone can cut the total price of a bachelor's degree in half. Grants and scholarships. You know about these. There are a wide variety of grants and even more scholarships designed to make college more affordable. Let's talk about those grants. Federal Pell Grants. The Pell Grant is the foundation of college affordability for a whole millions and upon millions of students. It's targeted to low-income families and does not need to be repaid. For students who qualify, Pell can cover a large share of tuition at public colleges and community colleges. In some cases, it can cover the whole thing. A whole lot of families assume they're not going to qualify, so they just never apply, often because they misunderstand income thresholds or they skip the FAFSA altogether. The bottom line, always fill out the FAFSA. Never skip it. I don't care if you got a huge bonus and now you make whatever. Fill out the FAFSA. State grants and promise programs. Let's take a look at these now. A lot of states operate their own grant programs too, many of which are separate from federal aid. Some are need-based, others are merit-based, and some combine the two. In addition, college promise programs have expanded rapidly, guaranteeing free tuition at public colleges for residents who meet basic requirements. These programs are often automatic once you complete the FAFSA. So important. University and private scholarships. All right, now we can move on to this one. Colleges themselves are one of the largest sources of grant aid, believe it or not, particularly for students with academic strengths, meet the college's institutional priorities, or have a financial need. Private scholarships from foundations, employers, unions, and community organizations are smaller on average, but you can stack together to meaningfully reduce costs. Even modest awards can eliminate the need for loans when combined with other aid. Employers that pay for college, one of the fastest growing and least discussed, for whatever reason, ways students pay for college is through their jobs. Large employers in retail, healthcare, logistics, hospitality, blah, 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 on and on, increasingly offer tuition reimbursement programs or full degree programs in partnership with colleges. There are fast food restaurants that offer tuition assistance. These benefits often cover tuition right up front, rather than reimbursing students later, which is huge, right? So for working students and adults returning to school, employer-paid college can reduce costs to zero, while allowing them to earn an income at the same time. This option is not limited to corporate office jobs either. It's common in hourly and frontline roles, but a whole lot of families don't even realize it exists. Which is why we exist, to let you know that they exist. Cutting cost by cutting the time in college. Let's take a look at this one too, because this is one of the best ways to reduce college costs. Just reduce the amount of time you have to spend in college. Finish up in 3 years instead of 4. That'll help you save 25%. All right, now dual enrollment, advanced placement, or AP courses. One of the simplest ways to reduce college costs is to arrive with credits in hand. When I went to college, I had sophomore standing simply because I had taken enough AP classes in high school. This enabled me to finish in 3.5 years, even after changing majors. AP courses and exams, often with dual enrollment classes taken through local colleges, can translate into real, tangible college credits. Each course that transfers is one less class you gotta pay for. Students who enter college with a semester or more of credits are already thousands of dollars ahead of everybody else. CLEP exams and credit by exam. For homeschoolers, especially, CLEP exams allow students to test out of introductory college courses just by demonstrating subject mastery. The exams cost far less than tuition and are widely accepted at public universities. If you use these strategically, CLEP can replace entire semesters of coursework. Cha-ching! Here's why time matters more than price. A student who pays full price for 3 years instead of 4 often spends less overall. duh, than a student who pays discounted tuition for 4 years. So reducing the time to degree lowers tuition, lowers housing, meal plans, and lost income from delayed entry into the workforce. Even shaving off one single semester can produce meaningful savings. Plus, the latest data on college graduation rates shows that students who start a 4-year university with dual enrollment are the ones most likely to finish. All right, now, with all that said, here's what this means for families. The fear, because let's face it, fear means clicks, behind the $30,000 per year comment is real. We get it, but it's built on an incomplete picture. Most families don't pay that. Many never even come close to that. Some pay nothing at all. Others pay by combining lower-cost schools, grants, employer programs, dual enrollment credit strategies that quietly reshape the bill entirely. The hardest part is not paying for college. It's knowing which questions to ask early enough. For families with students approaching high school or already enrolled, the next step is not panic. It's just understanding how the system actually works and how often the scariest numbers are the least relevant ones.